Hey, it's Allie Edwards and welcome back to December Daily for 2022. I am here today working on story number 19. In my foundation pages, I had set this up with just the 1 and the 9 and this beautiful heart die cut, the Merry and Bright heart die cut. What I'm going to do in just a second here is we're going to shift over to my computer and I'm going to show you a little bit about how I put this page together in Photoshop. I'm going to show you how to take the digital version of this heart, how to flip it horizontally, and then how to add your content onto the heart shape so that then I can just bring it over here and I can cut it out and add it right onto the back. So this will be a pretty quick one to come together. I've got the 1 and the 9 that I'm going to add on here, probably with adhesive. I'm thinking some sort of little embellishment there on the top, maybe a little something along the line right there, but this one's going to be pretty quick and easy. And I'm also not planning on doing anything here on the back of my felt page from story number 18. You could totally build something on the top of here if you wanted to. You could add a big photo, you could do pad of paper, journaling, or some sort of, some fun embellishments. I'm just gonna leave mine blank unless for some reason I decide to add something on there like that, which is possible, but I don't know. Let's see what happens as we go along here.
Hey everybody, it's Allie, and I am back today with another little Photoshop tip and or tutorial for something that I'm doing in my December daily project for 2022. What I have open right now is the digital version of the heart die cut insert, and I am going to be using the physical version of this in my project. And what I want to do here is I want to turn it over on the back so that I can use it as a mask for my photo and then add my text in there as well. So what I'm going to do for this in order to be able to flip it is I am going to go to image rotation, and then flip canvas horizontal is what I'm going to pick. And that just flips the entire thing. So there's a couple different ways I think that you can do that. I think there's another way, and depending on if you're in Photoshop Elements or in Photoshop, you can look up just how to flip horizontal or flip vertical. Here it is under transform as well. Edit, transform, flip horizontal, and you can see it'll go back. Let's do that one again. Edit, transform, and then flip horizontal. And I think that one is just flipping the layer. So now I have it flipped to the other side. So when I print this out and cut it out, it should be similar to the same size as the heart in my album, the actual physical version of the product. Then I have a photo here. This is a photo of Chris and Simon from a breakfast that we had. So I want to tell a little story about that. So I'm going to resize it. You can see that I'm just grabbing the edges. In Photoshop, I can just grab them and pull, and it maintains the correct proportions. But depending on, sometimes I know I've had to hold down the shift key to be able to do that too. I'm going to mask inside of that layer, and so I have my photo layer on top. Actually, first I'm going to change this to black and white. Let's see, let's get this so we can edit that. Actually, first we're going to double click. Yes, please. Okay, now we're going to go to edit, actually image, adjustments, black and white. Again, lots of different ways to do this. I am going to adjust the curves, which is Command M on a Mac. I'm going to just lighten it up a little bit, and then I'm also going to do contrast. So I'm going to go to adjustments, brightness, contrast, and then just up the contrast a little bit too. Actually, a little bit more. Okay. So now I have that photo on top of the heart. I'm going to come over here to the layers palette. I'm going to hold down the Option key on an Apple computer, and then I'm going to click, and now that photo has been masked inside, and I can move it around, make adjustments if I need to. I think I'm going to make it a little bit longer that way. And my plan on this one is that I want to come up here in this section up here, and I want to make part of that black because I want to be able to type a story on top of there. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm actually going to come over here. I'm going to grab the rectangle tool. I am going to create a new layer. I'm going to say new layer, say okay. I'm going to draw a box that's just right on top there. I'm not sure, might want this box to be about this long, I think, so that I can actually add some text into that. And then I'm also going to mask that inside. So let's see if I can get it. I want it to be on top of the photo, but the shape of the the shape of the heart. So let's see if I hold down the shift key. There we go. So there we go. I've got it all masked inside of there. And now I can add journaling to that top part. I could make this a color if I wanted to, but I think black's going to work for the little story that I want to tell in here. So that is how I set this up. And then I'm going to grab the type tool and I'm going to create a text box. I might do some more adjustments on this in a minute. I'm going to use the same font that I've been using in all of my journaling this year. I'm going to make it about 10-point size. Right now it's black, so I just selected all and I'm changing that to white type. I also, you can see that I need to change the leading, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make that, let's see, maybe like about 12. That's probably going to be too much. I also want this to be 0. And let's see, we'll probably do it about 11. Just space for a short little story. I might move this out a little bit and then I can do some forced returns. Let's see, I'm trying to decide if I want to start up higher. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and start typing in a little bit of my story here and then we'll see how that goes. All right, so I got that all typed in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some forced movement here. So I'm just using the space bar to move this over. Sometimes you got to hit, let's see, I make sure I'm down on the right line there. Get to the end. There we go. And then I'm just moving it over, kind of following the same, following the outline of the heart there. Let's see. What I just did there is I just made it so that it is oriented to the left side or to the right side. All right, so once I get the text all set up there, then I can go ahead and print this out and add it into my album. All right, so after I got that printed out, I brought it over to my desk here, and then I pulled the manufactured version of the heart out, and then I'm using just a little piece of washi tape to help hold it in place a little bit while I cut it out. I started doing it with my scissors first, with my Fisker scissors first, and then I grabbed my craft knife because I felt like that was a little bit easier for some parts of it. So again, it's kind of, you know, which feels the best to you. I think I go back and forth between the two of them often, and it definitely seemed a little bit easier for parts of it. I was pretty happy that it was just a little bit smaller, so it wasn't that my photo was smaller. I was a little happy about that, so that as I cut it out, there was still a tiny little bit of an edge around the outside. I also was laughing because when I did this, I really liked the look of the gold foil on top of the photo, and so you'll see me add that washi tape on top. I used rolling adhesive to adhere the photo part down onto the large paper heart there, and then I'm using my scissors to go around in the spots where it wasn't exactly the same. So just this kind of repeated process of cutting things out, right? Cutting them to a specific shape, which is one of the things that I continue to love about this album. And then I'm going ahead and using my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch to punch holes in the edge, along the edge, so that I can go directly into the album. There I am adding a little bit of that gold washi tape. Just seemed just right on top of there. And then of course I am grabbing my embroidery floss that has just been sitting out on my desk all month this month and adding a little stitch onto my 1 and my 9. I'm not even, as I've done previously this month, I'm not tying the backs. I'm just putting some sort of adhesive on the top. Here, because I'm going to adhere it right onto the heart, I'm just using the double-sided tape and then going ahead and sticking that down right there. I'm going to do the same thing with the 9. I'm actually going to do it in 2 spots on the 9. Or actually, no, I just do it on 1 spot on the 9, and then I'm going to adhere that down. This could obviously be done you could stitch it onto the paper if you wanted to. I'm doing more just, it's like a fake stitch just to add a little bit of that pop of red on there. Definitely red. My album has been red heavy this year, and I'm loving it. Like I think that it's been a fun little bit of a departure. I mean, there's obviously always red included, but definitely more red this year, and it's felt like that was what I wanted. So I'm feeling pretty happy. So I did 3 little spots of double-sided tape on there, and I liked how the 1 is smaller than the other numbers, and so it has a kind of a cool graphic look there, and then the portion of the 9 comes up on the back, and I liked how that looked too. Next, I wanted to add something else on here, so I grabbed one of the plastic hearts from the plastic heart bundle, and I'm going to stitch onto the plastic as well, so doing another little X or cross stitch on there, and then I will use red line tape, again that double-sided red line tape, to adhere that down onto my photo. I will also be grabbing there's these little gold, let's see, what are they called? They're kind of like confetti. I've had them for a long time, little pieces of gold stars, and so I'm going to use my Martha Stewart glue pen, I think is the one I still have, and glue that onto the top there. There's a spot for a little embellishment that I left on the top of the heart where the journaling is, and I loved how I felt like I could tuck that star right in there, and you can't see it from the other side, so that was fun. Saw one little bit of white there on my cutting job, so I fixed that. There's that little star, and you can use a brad with those. I think I did that earlier in the month, but I often just use a glue pen like this, and then you can stick it right on top. I considered adding some other ones on there, like doing 3 of those small stars, but I ended up deciding that I felt like 1 was just fine for this one. So this is a pretty quick and easy page to come together once you get through the part of the photo portion. Then I did decide I wanted to add one of our die cut glitter words onto the back. I just am choosing the word peace, doing rolling adhesive. I think that should be fine. You could also use some sort of a fabric adhesive there, but it seemed to stick pretty well right onto the felt. As always, if you guys have questions, let me know in the comments below.